And what? This has a RAM slot? Hold on a second. Hold on. I got this for another system, but yeah. Holy crap. This $150 barely usable computer just became $180 usable computer. Hey everybody, Steve here from Big Head Tech, and when I say you need to buy this laptop today for $185, I'm not kidding. The last laptop review I did was $445, but by the time I spent weeks waiting for delivery, editing it, all that stuff and putting it together, it's obviously not on sale anymore. This one, as of November 14th, is still available from Walmart. In fact, my dad just bought a third one. He plans on upgrading them, giving them away. Now, it's $185 because for me it was $157 shipped. That includes 6% sales tax, and a 8 gig stick of memory is about $25 plus tax, so about $185. For $185, this is what you get. 14-inch laptop, brand new, not refurbished. 12 gigs of memory, 128 gig NVMe SSD. I think it's Samsung. I think it's Wi-Fi A6 with Bluetooth. 3 USB ports, HDMI, microphone, headphone microphone, dual combo, memory card, and a barrel plug. It's probably 220, 250 nits brightness, TN panel. I think this is TN. Yeah, it's TN. 1366 by 768. Okay, so there's definitely some cons. No number pads up to 14-inch. But think about what you can do with that. Your Zoom meetings, your spreadsheet work, you know, your everyday work productivity that's not like Adobe and all that stuff. You can give this to your kid and say, hey, go ahead and do your schoolwork. Especially since most everything's in the cloud, you don't need extra storage. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys my experience, and I think I'm going to benchmark this. Why not? So for I/O, we have a headphone microphone combo port and a 4-in-1 media reader. Over here we have 3 USBs right here. This one doesn't say super speed, so that may be version 2, HDMI, and a barrel plug. Let's go ahead and take this apart. These front 4, which I've already removed most of these, are smaller, and then these other 6 are a little bit longer, so just make sure you keep them separate. But you can pretty much tell without too much which one's which. They're almost twice the length. There we go. And here we go. Well, like I was saying is unfortunately, I know Lenovo's done this a lot. We're seeing a lot of soldered memory, and unfortunately this only is 4 gigs. It's going to be a little tight, but I think your most basic applications are gonna work. That being said, for $150, you really can't be super picky. You know, if you need a computer like Stat that's not a Chromebook, you really don't have much options. And unlike the other Pentiums like the N series, those aren't even like real processors. They are almost like mobile processors. It's hard to say. They're very, very underpowered, especially because those usually come with mechanical drives or like eMMC storage. This at least has, I believe, to be an NVMe SSD. Okay, so let's go ahead and spin her around here. No, I can't read it from that angle. So we have a 35 watt-hour battery, so not too bad. Here is the NVMe drive here. So this is probably Samsung. Here is the model number. It's Mike Zulu Dash Alpha Lima Kilo 1280. So we'll replace this there. And then the Intel wireless chip. This is wireless and Bluetooth. Model, where are we at here? Model number 9560 November Golf Whiskey. And what? This has a RAM slot? Hold on a second. Hold on. I got this for another system, but yeah. Holy crap. This $150 barely usable computer just became $180 usable computer. Okay, let's go and disable S mode here. We're going to start, we're going to go to settings, and then we're looking for update and security. And we'll go to activation, which is right over here. Then go to the store. And then switch out of S mode free, hit get. Probably going to ask you to confirm it. Oh, we do have to put in our Microsoft details. Okay, and we'll click sign in. Well, only for Microsoft apps. And it took about a minute, and it says now you can install apps from outside the store. So let's go ahead and bring this back up here. So we'll go to here, this PC, right click, properties, and there we go, Windows 10 Home, just like that, very simple. So it's not too bad. I'm a little bit further. This is roughly how close you would be. Pretty standard laptop speakers, nothing to write home about, but it definitely gets the job done. And then let's open up a WordPad here. How good this typing experience is. I'm going to turn this a little bit. So not very mushy. Good. You know, these keys don't move a lot. Really good tactile. So I'm really surprised on a laptop of this caliber that this actually has a keyboard that's usable. Touchpad's actually better than the Lenovo L340 Gaming. I can actually use this touchpad a fair bit. So definitely some perks there, but now it is time to benchmark. Just want to go over the specs. It's the Ideapad 3. That is a 14-inch. It's 14IML05, and then the full tag model number. It does have the Pentium Gold G6405U, which is 2 cores, 4 threads, no turbo, 2 meg cache. It has 4 gigs of DDR4 2400 megahertz that are soldered and 1 open DIMM. We threw an 8 gig DIMM in there for this testing. It uses Intel UHD graphics, which apparently are similar to the 610. It has a 35 watt hour battery. Comes with Windows 10 S, which I've shown you already how to remove. 802.11ac 2x2 Wi-Fi with Bluetooth 5.0, that's a wireless card there, and then 128 gig NVMe SSD by Samsung. And a couple things, display is 1366 by 768. That being said, it does have an HDMI port, so it will hook up to an external monitor if you need more screen real estate. It is TN, it says it in the documentation, and I can tell, claims it's anti-glare, so be it. It is 220 nits, that is what Lenovo's documentation says. And then for I/O, again, we have a 4-in-1 USB card reader, we have 3 USB ports, and an HDMI port. These are all the configurations that I've tested. Don't ask me what the model numbers are, because honestly, I can't remember most of them. But we have an AM3-ish or AM3 Plus APU. We have, my wife had a 2-in-1 Lenovo laptop that had the i5-7200U. My dad has this random Dell that has a 3360M i5. Then obviously this system, 2 Ryzen 5 2500Us. One was 15 watts, one was 25. That made a difference. And then my wife's Lenovo laptop, apparently I know what most of these are, Ryzen 5 4500U, and then I did have a Ryzen 7 4700U for a little bit. And you can see a range anywhere from 8 gigs to 16 gigs of RAM, just depending on what I could put in. But at least you know what the configurations are, what I'm comparing against. So looking at Cinebench, because, I mean, why wouldn't you compare Cinebench between laptops? This actually slots ahead of the older i5. However, it actually slots a little bit below the i5. And that's interesting because they're both 2 cores, 4 threads. But the difference definitely is going to be in clock speed and also cache. But I mean, 541 multi-core isn't great, and that 213 is a little bit low on the single core, and I think that's probably going to come to raw clock speed, especially when you compare to the later i5s, which admittedly are the same core count. Let's take a look at Blender. It's amazing when we take even entry-level modern desktops for granted. 30 minutes on an export. It's not bad, but this really shows you that this is really good for like everyday work, not productivity, because you can spend, I mean, you're going to spend a lot more. So I really can't bag on it. You figure 180 bucks, you'd have to spend twice that much money to get any tangible performance increase. And yeah, it's about right. I think I spent on the 2500U, I spent about twice that much, and we only got down by about half. So pretty decent scaling all the way back to this level. When we look at games, at least from the synthetic standpoint, it's okay. I mean, when you're looking at 3D Mark Night Raid or Final Fantasy 14, we're running, you know, the lowest settings possible. And it gives a number, and that number is a lot lower than what some other laptops are. Let's get something tangible. Let's actually look at some real games. So when we come to games, yeah, we're kind of sort in the single digits here. Well, actually, on one game. So that's Ghost Recon Wildlands. The Division and F1 were both a bit higher. I mean, this is 720p. This is low settings, ultra low settings in case of F1. So by no means are we looking at anything playable. If you fire up a game like League of Legends or Rocket League, you turn everything all the way down, you'll be able to have some fun to play, but definitely not anything on the really competitive side. But I'm going to say that this laptop could function just as a, hey, I just want to get a couple fun matches in and call it a day kind of system. So clearly this is not a gaming system, and I never really at any point thought it was going to be. But here's the reality of the situation. Middle of November, the situation across the world, particularly the United States, is getting worse and worse. So everybody's going to have a continuing increasing need in technology, but they may not necessarily have the budget. And something like this, that's going to be less than $200, is in my opinion, user upgradable for memory. Just buy a 8 gig stick of laptop DDR4 memory, pop it in. Now you can do things such as probably some really light, very light Photoshop work if needed. You'll be able to do all your Zoom, all your Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoints. Be able to actually play back YouTube video. Of course, it's only 768p, so it won't be 1080p. But this will make it so you can still continue to work. And you even have, I think you have an HDMI port too. So if you pick up an old used 1080p monitor for like $50, for productivity purposes. I know that's really useful for when I work to have 2 screens. This is perfect for it. So if you're in the market for a basic laptop for your kid for, say, school, especially if you have an extra monitor, I think they'd like that a lot. Keyboard, mouse. You don't need speakers because it has speakers. It has a microphone. And from experience, Lenovo is really good at noise cancellation. So if somebody's talking and it's coming out of your speakers, it won't trigger your microphone in Zoom, which I find that to be really useful. All the Lenovo laptops I have in the office are like that. I suspect this is going to be the same as well. But it's a really good buy. You're looking at $185, taxes shipped to your door, maybe an extra $50, so $235, including a monitor, maybe $10 for a keyboard, or we'll say $15 for a keyboard mouse combo. You're at $250 for a full setup that's going to get the job done. So if you're in the market, I will put a link in the description below. I can't guarantee this laptop will still be around going forward, but as of the day of filming this, in fact, I just went to Walmart and picked another one up for my dad so he could, put upgrade them and try to give them away to people in need. It's still available. So hopefully this helps somebody out. If you know somebody that's useful to watch this video, definitely share it. Like it if you liked it, dislike if you dislike, leave a comment, get subscribed, and there's not going to be an Amazon link in the description below. Maybe I will. I mean, obviously I get a kickback from that just to maybe, search it. If it's still a really good deal, say from Amazon, I would say $250 or less is a good deal for this because it's easily upgradable memory. But if you do buy anything from the Amazon, I do get a small kickback. And as always, this is Steve from Big Head Tech, and I'll see y'all later on down the road.